Welcome back. And now we'll see how the men's soccer team ended their season with Kelsey Epperson.
A tough loss to the defending national champions of Graceland University ended the Baker men's soccer team's season.
The Wildcats finished the season with a 13-7 overall record and fell one game short of winning conference. The team advanced to the regional playoffs to defeat Lindenwood in double overtime and a close 2-1 victory. The Cats then faced a tough Graceland University team in the second round and fell short 3-4 in overtime. Senior defender Ryan McAllen said though the men lost, they competed and played well against the Yellow Jackets.
And then we played Graceland at Graceland, which to me was probably the best game I've ever been in my life. It was a 4-3 game. They beat us in extra time with like a minute and a half to go, and it was just that we had fans there, their fans were there, and it was just like absolutely electric and stuff like that. So, but in my own personal thing, it was like the best game I'd ever played in, stuff like that. So it was really good.
The Wildcats may have had a disappointing ending, but many positives came from the 2007 season. The team had big victories against strong conference and non-conference teams, went on a 7-game winning streak, and several individuals received postseason recognition. Coach Alan Koch said 4 individuals were acknowledged by the conference.
We had 2 players this year make first-team All-Conference, Matt Jermaine and Ryan McAloon, and then we had 2 players make the second team, Travis Moore and Alex Burton. It was really nice to see Travis and Ryan get that recognition in their senior year. It's nice for them to cap off their careers at Baker with those awards. Also nice to see Matt and Alex, who are sophomores and freshmen respectively, get those awards, and hopefully they can build on those and keep making it to those all-conference teams and hopefully be All-Americans by the time they're done at Baker.
McAloon talked about what the honor meant to him to be recognized his senior year as a first-team all-conference player.
I was really happy just to get that, but I mean, it's a good honour, but I mean, I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for like the rest of my team and stuff like that. So it was really a good achievement for me, and for me to leave and like for us to get that, it was really showing that Baker is a force not to be reckoned with. So
the young Baker team will lose 4 seniors next year. Coach Koch says he is confident with the returning players and looks for them to work hard in the off-season to be successful next year. He is looking to bring in a few key recruits to gel with the returning players in hopes of winning a conference championship.
Very, very excited about the big group that we have returning. We have a lot of quality players, and hopefully they're going to get better. Hopefully they keep the same hunger they had this year, and hopefully we'll have a crack at going to nationals next year.
With the help of returning players and a few key recruits, Coach Koch and the Baker men's soccer team will look to get back in the playoff race next season. Kelsey Epperson, KNBU-TV.
Thanks, Kelsey. And now we're going to wrap up the show with a quick sports talk with Alex Dingman and Chris Smith.
Thanks, Sharice. I'm now here with our Wildcat Chat sports analyst, Alex Dingman. Alex, thanks for coming on.
Oh, no problem. Nice for having me.
Alex, first let's talk about football since it's coming to a close. Let's talk about our Baldwin High boys. Tell us a little bit about their season.
Yeah, they're pretty much the one fall sport that's still going, Chris. They did a great job in their last victory over Columbus. They beat those Titans, I believe it was, 56-22.
That's right.
And just a dominating performance from the beginning. They scored the first 21 points of that game. Really, it was never in doubt. Jared Hall had 5 touchdowns, and they were 1-for-1 passing. And that single-wing offense just mowed over the Titans from Columbus. And so Baldwin High is one of the final 4 teams in 4A, and they get to play Lewisburg on Friday, a team that beat them back in Week 5, 31-20. They got a running back named Spradling that's one of the best in the state, so it's going to be a huge test. But Baldwin High right now is playing their best football, and I don't know. I don't want to say this is the year, but they're definitely mowing people down right now.
Well, now they lost to Lewisburg back in Week 5 of the season. What do you think's changed between that Baldwin High team and this Baldwin High team that we're going to see on Friday night in the state semifinal?
Yeah, you see this new offense that was implemented by Coach Berg, something that was new to all the players on the team. And you can really see the first week versus Gardner Edgerton that it didn't really work too well. They're still trying to figure everything out. Then they got on a roll, but then they played Lewisburg, one of the top teams in the state. They're actually ranked in the top 5 when the regular season ended in all divisions, 4A, 5A, 6A, whatever. And they're just a team that pretty much put it to us physically. Baldwin High was used to dominating their opponents, and they kind of got a taste of their own medicine against Lewisburg. But we're not going to be surprised in this one. And, that offense right now is just clicking so well. We got Luke Weaver playing wingback position. That's just doing a great job lead blocking for us. And with Sam Beecher, Jared Hall running the best that they have all season, and hopefully Gabe Mason's recovered from his injury. And we'll see if Lewisburg's up to the challenge of trying to stop this offense that nobody has in this playoff action so far. Right now, Baldwin High has outscored their 3 opponents 125-36. And so we'll see if they're finally tested on Friday.
Well, good luck again to the Baldwin Bulldogs, 10-2 going into this Friday state semifinal action against Lewisburg. Let's move up a division, if you will. We'll talk about the Baker football team. They just concluded their season this past week with a win over Avila. They finished off 6-5 overall, 6-4 in a tough HAC conference that featured two or three teams in and out of the top 25 all year. Yep. What was your impression of the Baker football team this year?
You know, they struggled offensively there in the middle of the season, but they still had some hopes for the postseason, but then they ran into a couple of really tough opponents late, Mo Valley and Mid-America. That Mid-America game was really a nail-biter down to the finish, and it was a crucial game for us. We really needed it if we were going to have any chance at the postseason, and we came up just short, but it was nice to finish the season on a good note versus Avila, and really our offense those last 2 weeks against Man U and also against Avila just absolutely looked fantastic, especially the running game versus Avila. They had over 400 rushing yards. Frank Owens, Richie Bryant, Bryant had 4 touchdowns, so it was a good way for them to go out, but obviously disappointing that they didn't make the postseason. But like you said, the HAC is a very strong conference. I wouldn't be surprised if the national champion came out of our conference once again.
That's right, and that would be a huge honor for the Baker Wildcats to put up some of the results they did in that tough conference. Mm-hmm. Big 12 football. How about them Jayhawks? I know you're a little partial to these KU boys, but these boys in crimson and blue are unreal.
You know, I'm used to being a huge KU basketball fan, and I've kind of just been a KU football fan just because I was a KU basketball fan, and lived close to Lawrence. But now I actually have a reason to be a fan. They're playing ridiculous right now. I kind of doubted them to start the year. I didn't feel like they were going to be too much better than last year since they pretty much had the same crew. But wow, Todd Reesing's really been the difference. It's not really talked about in the Heisman race, but I don't see why not. He had over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, no picks, the important thing, versus OK State. And then BMAC is just running the ball so well. Brandon McAnderson, he had over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns. And that defense, Aqib Talib was named the Defensive Player of the Week in the Big 12. And they're just beating everybody. They're coming up to every challenge. They might not look too impressive the whole way through, but against Nebraska, we all know what happened. They put 76. And then OK State, they got a little run at the end of the game, but KU was able to hold them off, and that offense is just so strong. They beat everybody up front, and we'll see if they can keep it going. They got Iowa State now at home, a team that's won a couple of victories late. They're kind of on a roll, but definitely a team that probably doesn't match up against us too well, pound for pound. And then the big contest is going to be Missouri on November 24th, and if we win that one, we win the Big 12 championship. We're going to be playing for a national title, Chris.
That's true.
It's an exciting time.
Let's talk about that game on November 24th. You guys have the Missouri Tigers at Arrowhead Stadium. It will be for the Big 12 North title to send to a Big 12 game against most likely Oklahoma. Could also be Texas if they can squeak out a couple here at the end and Oklahoma falls, but most likely Oklahoma, who right now is one of the forefronts for winning the Fiesta Bowl this year. Mm-hmm. What do you make of that MU-KU game?
Well, like I said, at the beginning of the year, didn't really have high expectations for the Jayhawks. But now that they've just kept winning, and I've really been able to see how good they are, I think that Missouri's defense just is not going to be able to control KU's offense, especially that ground attack. I can see BMAC, Jake Sharp possibly both going for 100 against Missouri, because Missouri is going to be a team that's also going to, if they're going to score, they're going to probably do it quickly with some of their speed guys, Macklin, and obviously they have great tight ends as well. Chase Daniel, one of the finest QBs in the nation, but I just don't think their defense is going to be able to match up against KU, who's a more complete team.
All right, you heard it right here first. Alex Dingman, Big 12 North champions, Kansas Jayhawks. He's Alex. I'm Chris. We'll see ya.
Thanks for tuning in this week. I'm your host, Sharice Presley. See you next time.